really, really excited about the upcoming college football season. The 2024 season is going to look and feel different than any we have ever had because we've got a 12-team playoff coming this year. But what about the year after that? Also going to be a 12-team playoff. But who are the teams in the SEC going to play? We have not gotten the schedule information about the 2025. Remember, 2024 was a one-off schedule. But today, the SEC released the 2025 conference football schedule. And it's a lot like 2024. We're just changing locations. So, take the 8 games that you're playing in 2024, flip the sites. That's the 2025 schedule. So what does that mean for Ole Miss and for Mississippi State? This year, Ole Miss has Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Oklahoma in Oxford. They go to Arkansas, Florida, LSU, and South Carolina. Not in that order. Next year, that will flip. The Rebels will host the Razorbacks, the Gators, the LSU Tigers, and the South Carolina Gamecocks while traveling to Athens. So if you're keeping score at home, that is 3 straight years for Ole Miss with the Georgia Bulldogs on the schedule. Rebels will go to Kentucky. The Egg Bowl will be in Starkville. And Ole Miss will make its first trip to face Oklahoma in Norman with the Sooners as a member of the SEC. Mississippi State, this year, they host Arkansas, Florida, Missouri, and Texas A&M. Next year, those will be road games, which means the home schedule in year 2 for Jeff Lebby is stout. The Bulldogs will host Georgia, Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl, Tennessee, and Texas. If you've been holding out on buying season tickets because you weren't sure what the schedule was going to be, 2025, pretty good home slate of games for the Bulldogs. So in addition to their non-conference games,
you are getting the price of those season tickets. Ooh, that's a great home schedule.
Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, and the Egg Bowl in 2025 in Starkville for Mississippi State.
And for good measure, Arizona State as well.
Wow.
They should be making that return trip in 25, right?
That's right. I think that's right. I was going to pull up, actually.
Well, and you know what series starts in 2025 for Ole Miss.
Yeah, it's Southern Cal, right?
It is. And
all right,
yes,
so
Arizona State is making the return trip that year as well.
So Ole Miss's home schedule in 2025 will be the Citadel, Wake Forest, Tulane, Arkansas, Florida, LSU, and South Carolina. And they will have a road trip to Southern Cal, at least as it stands right now.
Pretty darn good.
Not bad. And for Mississippi State, hold on, I got to get to that page. You may have it up.
I do. So they're at Southern Miss on August 30th. Arizona State, Alcorn State, Northern Illinois, obviously all 3 at home.
Arizona State on September 6th, Alcorn State September 13th, Northern Illinois September 20th, and additional home games against Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, and Ole Miss.
That is pretty darn good. Did you see that all the takes come out today from college football media? This is I know that a lot of people, myself included, have takes on emotion and feeling as opposed to looking at it practically. But you had it again today. Oh, the SEC not going to 9, cowards, whatever. David Ubben, for example, of The Athletic, said, honestly, I can't believe the Big Ten doesn't apply more public pressure for the SEC to change, to go to 9. And I want to say, because I like him, does really good work, but I want to say, what public pressure can the Big Ten apply? What leverage do they have against the SEC to make them go to 9? Not a single person forced the Big Ten to go to 9 conference games, And 8 SEC games is more difficult than 9 Big Ten games, for one. But the SEC is richer than it's ever been. They're putting teams in the playoff on a regular basis. And guess what? When it goes to 12, they're just going to put the most teams in the playoff and the 12 team as well. Attendance is up and ratings are through the roof. Why would they change? Why would they change?
I honestly think that the argument has gone away. Like, we talk so much about a 9-game schedule. They're going to go to a 9-game schedule. Borky, I don't think there's any reason now to go to a 9-game schedule.
All you do is make it harder for yourself. That is literally the only thing that you do. ESPN's contract is locked in with you. They're paying you regardless.
Yeah, and I don't know that you're looking at that much more money if you were to go to a 9-game schedule. That would be the only reason that you do it. And I don't know that ESPN necessarily wants to spend more money, especially when the SEC has the guaranteed or the requirement of playing an additional Power 5 non-conference game.
Yeah.
And if it's at a neutral site, if it's in Atlanta or whatever, ESPN's going to have the rights to that game anyway. If it's a home game for an SEC team, ESPN's going to have the rights to that game. So ESPN is going to carry Mississippi State, Arizona State. Is that – I mean, is Mississippi State playing
South
Missouri
Carolina
or South Carolina instead of Arizona State any more valuable?
No.
Now, you lose a little bit of inventory when it's a road game. So ESPN won't control Ole Miss at Southern Cal on August 30th, 2025. Fox will.
Yeah. But
a couple of years down the line, when Southern Cal comes to Oxford, that'll be a game that's on ESPN.
Right.
So I don't know that argument carries much weight anymore.
No.
I mean, unless ESPN wants to redo the contract and is willing to pay significantly more money, then there's no reason to do it at this point.
No, I don't.
Because you got so much access. There's a 12-team playoff, and you're playing a Power 5 team, and it gives fan bases a chance to have some pretty cool intersectional games. Arizona State and Starkville this year, pretty cool. Ole Miss going to Wake Forest this year. Going to Southern Cal the year after that. Getting Wake Forest at home. Now, I'm not sure that it's ideal to play Southern Cal and Wake Forest and 8 SEC games, but hey, that's the neighborhood you live in. That's your college football.